In this story, you're going to hear how everyone loses what could have been a good M&A transaction. Well, not everyone. The potential seller and acquirer wasted lots of money on inadequate advisors. And it doesn't have to be that way. Listen to this story about a deal that cratered, which forced the seller and buyer to resume their search for a deal. I'm Ted Leverette, broadcasting from partneroncall.com. I'm the original business buyer advocate. For more than 30 years, I've been helping people find and buy the right businesses the right way, and then helping them grow their company using mergers and acquisitions. And along the way, I've interacted with and learned from some of the best deal makers worldwide. You're going to hear Calvin Hughes of Paladin Capital Advisors talk to us about a deal gone bad.
Well, Ted, I appreciate the chance to share some of these stories. And I think with each story are some very, very good lessons for your audience. The first one I'm going to tell you about is a great little engineering company that I worked with. We'd spent a lot of time preparing it. And we, in fact, had found a wonderful buyer, a much larger company that wanted to absorb this one and to continue on and hire the owner and open up some new market segments with this acquisition. After about 2 months of negotiations and due diligence and so forth, we reached a point where we had concluded a very successful letter of intent which detailed a price that the owner was very excited about and was anxious to complete. Once we reached that stage, we were close to coming into Christmas, and the owner decided that he wanted to use his existing professional team to try to conclude the deal. And that included some fairly high-end professionals that would include a tax accountant, legal for the securities work because it was a share sale, and an accounting professional. Now, these individuals are very capable, very professional, usually on his team for typical corporate work. But the problem we ran into is that these particular deal professionals were not M&A people. They were not experienced in what it takes to get the deal done. So as we were coming into about middle of December, and we started to have to assemble some of the formal paperwork and some of the tax planning that was necessary to create the structures to get this deal to go in the proper way, one of the deal professionals found that they were taking holidays and decided to go skiing for 2 weeks. And by the time we could get that person back into the fold, doing their work on what we call deal time, and for those that haven't heard, deal time is right away. We found that there were significant delays coming into the second week of January when the individual returned, and we were trying to pick up the pieces. And by the time we were educating and bringing the people up to speed as that were necessary to complete and to work with the counterparty on, we were running into problems and communication difficulties because some of these professionals didn't speak the same deal language as those who are used to doing the deals and who were represented on the buy side. What ended up happening is that we started getting into February, and we realized that one or two of the deal team members of the seller side really weren't capable to the level that we needed. So we had to switch out the securities lawyer and the tax advisor. By the time we did that and then got the next team up to speed, we were getting into early March to create the paperwork. And what we found by mid-March is that the buyer, a much, much larger company, their board of directors changed out. We had new directors, and the new directors decided they did not wish to proceed with this acquisition. So that particular deal was lost due to time delays, which resulted in part from the lack of experience of some of the professionals involved. The point here is not to offend any of the professionals that may work on a deal, but to recognize that there are certain special requirements necessary to get a deal done. And not only is time of the essence always when you get that close on a deal, but also the expertise to know how things are typically done, to know the language, and to do whatever is necessary to get a deal through once you've got full agreement between the parties.
Okay, listeners, it's Ted Leverette again with a takeaway from that story. Hire advisors having a proven history of working on your particular issues and for the kind and size of deal that you want to do. Hire people who can prove they have facilitated solutions in a team setting that should and did occur. Hire doers, not talkers. Avoid advisors who don't know enough about M&A, not wanting to make mistakes. These posers are more likely to poo-poo worthwhile deals or, worse, bless lousy deals. We are very blunt by saying your typical corporate lawyer and accountant are not the people who need to be on your divestiture or acquisition team. And the situation you described often results in no deal, because by the time you exchange out the talent that needs to be there, either the buyer or the seller get cold feet or they find another opportunity. Hey, Cal, how can people get in touch with you?
Well, they can certainly find me on LinkedIn. They just look up Paladin Capital Advisors, and more particularly my name, Calvin Hughes.
Hey, you. That's right, you. Have you been looking to buy an exciting and profitable business? Are you tired of searching, but only finding barriers that impede you from owning a wonderful business? Well, have we got some good news for you. You can find and buy the right business the right way. And you don't have to go it alone. For over 30 years, author and transaction advisor Ted Leverette, the original business buyer advocate, has been helping buyers worldwide achieve win-win done deals. Ted Leverette says, you can't buy it if you can't find it. You see, buying a business is all about search, because if you can't find it, you can't buy it. It's about being best and first. First on the scene with sellers, and being the seller's first choice, and top of mind for brokers and sellers. And most importantly, avoiding buyer competition. What about having to compete with other buyers? Well, you have to outbid them, which is a good way to pay more than a business is worth. Searchers do better with a winning business buyer marketing plan, and that's where Ted Leverette comes in. He'll help you prepare a winning plan, and then he'll guide your actions so you can find and then buy the right business the right way. But searching is not enough. The reality is too many people buy the wrong business, or they buy the right business, but on the wrong terms. That's why, if you want to buy the right business the right way, it makes sense to have Ted Leverette, the original business buyer advocate, on your advisory team. And one of the best ways to know what the savviest searchers and buyers do is to read Ted Leverette's books, How to Prepare Yourself and Find the Right Business to Buy, and How to Buy the Right Business the Right Way. You can get them at his website, partneroncall.com. Don't chance it. Right now, go to partneroncall.com, get the books, and schedule a free and private telephone conversation with Ted Leverette.